This is the Fox 5 RebZone Sports Show, sponsored by R.C. Willey and Levitt Law Firm.
Hey everyone, welcome into the RebZone. I'm Paloma Villicana filling in for Kevin Bollinger, and alongside me, TJ Otzelberger, head coach of the Runnin' Rebels. We can take a deep breath. How big was this win, and how satisfied all your hard work of changing this program around? I know you have really high expectations for the team. What are your thoughts about this win?
Yeah, thrilled for our players, first and foremost. Those are the guys that do the hard work every day. Proud of our coaching staff, the effort they do in preparing our guys, and that's a win for our fans, for everybody back home that loves this program and wants to see us back in the national stage. Take a lot of pride in my position, and hope everybody can enjoy that one, and it's a sign of things to come here in the future.
Well, before we dive into this game, we'll take a look at the highlights of this nail-biter 66-63 win for UNLV.
SDSU's student section, called The Show, opened the night with their loud energy as the game started, with SDSU revealing their 2020 Mountain West Conference Championship banner. And it was the Aztecs that opened this game up strong, with a basket from Matt Mitchell, and a big dunk from Yanni Wetzel gets the crowd going. But UNLV capitalizes on one of 9 turnovers from SDSU in the first half. The Rebels went on a 10-0 run, taking an early 23-14 lead as UNLV quickly silenced the arena. The Rebels' defense shined in this game as the 4th-ranked Aztecs could only shoot 33% from the field in this first half, really struggling to get anything going. And to cap the first half off, Elijah Mitralong goes ahead and dunks it as the Rebels lead 37-25 at halftime. The Aztecs opened up the second half with a 7-0 run, trimming the deficit to 44-37. But every single UNLV player was locked in down the stretch, clawing, scratching, fighting to make every basket, as this game came down to the final seconds. With 14 seconds left on the clock, Aztecs' Malachi Flynn sprinted downtown to drain a 3, making this a 1-point game. The anxiety, the stress, you could hear your own heartbeat. Elijah Mitralong would end the game with 2 free throws as Matt Mitchell missed his final shot from half court. 66-63. SDSU is undefeated no more, and that locker room was wild.
I don't think we ever thought that we're going to win the game until the buzzer hit. All of us were locked in. All of us, we didn't think the game was over. We still thought that they're going to come back with 3.3 seconds left, you know what I mean? And that's because that's respect to them, you know. They're a good team, and they can make stuff happen down the stretch. And as soon as the buzzer hit, we realized we won, so it was good. The fact that we came in here and played a great team, a team that's going to, you know, do numbers in the March Madness and beat a lot of teams earlier in the year, it means a lot. It's a confidence booster. It gives us hope, you know what I mean? And I mean, yeah, it's a win, and this is the veteran side of talking to me. We're gonna cherish this moment, but we're gonna move on because we haven't really done nothing yet.
Coach, in the first half, you guys really controlled the tempo of this game. How were you guys able to read SDSU's defense and attack them right away?
Talked a lot about scoring early in transition and scoring later in possessions. Our guys did a great job when we had an advantage, attacking, hitting ahead, and driving it and making the play. We made some shots early, which also helped. And then in the half court, we felt like we could really drive them off the corners, especially with Amari, Bryce, Eli, create those double gaps so they can get in the paint. Those guys did a great job executing, and fortunately against a really good defense, we had created some separation by scoring the basketball.
I mean, at halftime, it was the biggest deficit that SDSU had ever had this season in a conference game. What was the feeling at halftime? What, were you guys focused, locked in? What was the feeling?
We knew they were going to adjust. They're a tremendous program. They're doing a great job. So we knew that what worked in the first half wasn't going to work in the second half, and we were going to have to make some changes. Also felt it was really important to get a basket right out of halftime, and we had the basketball, ran a play, and Bryce Hamilton got a drive to the goal, which I think gave our guys that confidence right away out of the locker room that we can go score a basket and continue to build on our lead.
Well, I mentioned earlier this game came down to the final seconds, and you as a coach were strong and confident and calm. And Elijah Mitchell-Long said he looked at you and how to stay confident. How important is that to you as a coach in this atmosphere to stay so calm and focused?
Yeah, it's really important to me. I think, you know, at the end of the day, when you work hard and you put time in, when you're in those moments, you feel prepared. And I want our guys to know that we prepare each day for that moment. It's something that we've been on the job 11 months. That wasn't a win that came today. It came from 11 months of hard work. So I trust in our process. I believe in our guys, and I want them to understand that regardless of the environment, I believe in them in those big moments. It's my job to be a leader for them, to have that composure that they can feed off of.
Tuesday night, you said that was the most complete game, you know, complete performance from your team. Does this top it?
I think this has to be on top of that one. That was a big win on Tuesday, and take nothing away from Colorado State, but to come into Viejas against a team that's undefeated, that's found a way to weather every storm and come out with a win, really challenging environment. So this now qualifies as our best game.
Well, speaking of Tuesday night's game, we'll take a look back at that dominating win over Colorado State.
UNLV looking for a strong performance against Colorado State as we inch closer to March. This team is only getting better each game down the stretch, and they're looking for a big win right before San Diego State. Well, Rams' Isaiah Stevens opened up the game with a big three, but the Rebels cranked up that defense early as the Rebels went off hitting 9 threes in the first half. Jonah Antonio with a back-to-back three, helping his guys take a huge lead at halftime, 51-29. The Rebs came out running the court in the second half, dominating on defense with this steal from Elijah Mitchell-Long. The Rebels taking the Rams out of their rhythm with a big three from Bryce Hamilton, who finished the night with a game-high 25 points, hitting 3 of his 4 three-pointers. The Rebels taking this big dub 80-56, only improving each game at the most important time of the year. And here's why.
We took pride today into playing defense and getting rebounds, and you know, we just winning more than them today.
We're adjusting to each other. We have better chemistry. We're hanging out with each other a lot more on and off the court. So, I mean, those are little tendencies and things and hints that are showing you that we're getting better, you know, so it feels good.
How did you guys build off of Tuesday night's game, and what was the game plan heading into San Diego State?
We spent a lot of time talking about the focus we would need to play in this game. We've been building our togetherness as a group. We've played multiple lineups. We've gone with smaller lineups, bigger lineups. So our guys being prepared for everybody when their number is called. But more than anything, it was that togetherness. It was that poise. It was having command of the game in key moments. We knew they were going to have times where they hit big shots, where they went on runs. The crowd got into it. All those things happened today. We need to weather that storm, and our guys are fortunate and able to do that.
You told us your team is improving each game in the most important time of the year. What have you seen that has kind of shocked you a little bit?
The character of our group, because we push them pretty hard. We challenge them. We try to bring out the best in each guy, and then also as a group. I wouldn't say it surprised me, but it's a long season, and for them to really dig in and be playing their best in the first year of our program, when you get into mid to late February, it says a lot about their work habits and who they're becoming as young men. And as a coach, getting better, teaching life lessons, it's really gratifying, and that's what we do this for.
Speaking of building off that confidence, and obviously this performance, we'll preview the next 2 games coming up this week, Boise State and San Jose.
You're watching the Fox 5 RebZone Sports Show, sponsored by RC Willey and Levitt Law Firm.
Welcome back into the Red Zone. Kevin Bollinger has a preview for this week's game. 2 games remaining, Boise State and San Jose State.
Wednesday night at 8 at the Thomas & Mack, Boise State comes to run with the Rebels. The Broncos have been consistently good during the conference season, and they've done it by putting up points to the tune of 77 per game. It's a veteran team where most of the core players have been together for 3 years. That helps in transition, something the Broncos love to do.
We definitely want to push in transition and stuff. I know it's like super cliche to say like get up and down and run fast, but yeah, no, we have some. I think we're going to be up and down a little bit more this year.
Traditionally, games between UNLV and Boise have been up and down the floor, and that has the Bronco players excited about the matchup.
Those games are really fun to play in just because, you know, it's kind of just playing off instinct. You know, in game plans and scouting reports like that, you know, they're important for games like that as well. But, you know, it almost seems like games like that, you know, it's all about just playing with your instincts and just going out there and doing what you do.
Derek Alston is the type of player that can take over a game. He's expected to leave after the season and enter the NBA draft. They also have Justinian Jessup, the all-time three-point shooter in Mountain West history. Perimeter defense will be a huge factor in this game. On Saturday, the final regular season game for UNLV will be played at San Jose State. The Spartans have been playing a lot of teams tough this season, even almost knocking off San Diego State earlier in the year. Seneca Knight leads the Spartans, scoring 16 points a game. If there's been a downfall for San Jose, it's on the defensive side, where they're giving up more than 80 points a game. That's worst in the conference. There's been a lot of turnover over the last several years at San Jose, where it's been tough to get players and even tougher to keep them. Their head coach says without big-time facilities, they've had to take a different approach to recruiting.
Still 94 by 50, right, and a 10-foot rim, and that's all we really need. I mean, yes, bells, whistles. I mean, in terms of facilities, yes. I mean, yeah, okay, that'd be great, but that's not what we are trying to sell per se. We're trying to sell Silicon Valley. Obviously, you know, we have a diverse campus. You know, the demographics are very diverse as well. And there's a lot of opportunity there for kids after they play.
Playing in San Jose is never easy. There is zero atmosphere and just a few hundred fans. Road teams, including UNLV, have been lulled to sleep, and that's led to the Rebels having tight games in the Bay. That can't happen on Saturday, as UNLV tries to build momentum heading into the Mountain West tournament.
Boise State, obviously you guys lost a close one on the road earlier this season, but they've been a pretty complete team this season. Obviously after this win, you know, what's the energy like heading into Boise State?
Boise's a very complete team. They've got veteran guards. Jessup and Alston are 2 of the better players in all the league. They're a really good offensive team, but they're good defensively as well. When we went there, we were a different team early in the year. I think we've certainly come a long way. Stayed in the game, but really we're never in striking distance late. We have to do a great job defending them. It starts with getting stops for us against them, and that'll be our focus come Wednesday.
And then San Jose State, I've heard the atmosphere there is a little quiet. Obviously not a fan base like this. How do you keep your guys in focus and locked in and still trying to perform at their best in maybe a quieter environment?
We talk to them about playing on the road and how they have to stay together and what it takes winning on the road, the differences between the home courts. So whether it's been at New Mexico or here lately, we've demonstrated the ability to play well on the road. We've got to, you know, be able to get up for that game just like we've gotten up for these last few.
Well, coming up, we'll take a look at Vitaliy Shibel's feature and how he got to UNLV from Ukraine and find out how he learned how to speak English here in the U.S.
You're watching the Fox 5 RebZone Sports Show, sponsored by R.C. Willey and Levitt Law Firm.
Welcome back into the Red Zone. Vitaliy Shibel, a grad transfer from Arizona State, came from the Ukraine to the U.S. in high school. Find out how he learned how to speak English. Kevin Bollinger has more.
Vitaliy Shibel is the latest international addition to the Runnin' Rebels program. The senior grad transfer from Ukraine has logged a lot of miles and has had an incredible journey. Shibel came to the United States after finishing high school at the age of 17 and enrolled in a prep school in Maine. It was certainly a culture shock.
More like poorer country, you know. There's a big difference in the culture. People are more open in Ukraine, I would say, to each other. They're more friendly. So it took a little, you know, it was a little adjustment for me.
That adjustment was made even more difficult because he didn't speak a lick of English when he arrived in the States, making it hard to find people to be around.
It's a big adjustment, you know, especially I don't know language, I don't have my parents here, I barely know anyone, and even if I know someone, I can't really talk to them because, like I said, I can't speak English. It was really hard, but you know, it took some time.
So Shibel scheduled 8 English classes a week to try and get the language down fast. He also got an assist from Rachel, Ross, Joey, Chandler, and Phoebe.
I learned about Netflix and I was watching Friends so much. Friends and The Office, there were 2 TV shows, and I would watch like every day on repeat, and kind of helped me a lot. I think I've read it somewhere. Friends is like one of the best TV shows to watch when you learn English too.
He took his basketball and new English skills to Arizona State and played for Bobby Hurley for 3 years. But after finishing his undergrad degree early, Shibel decided to transfer and chose UNLV. He loves discovering that Las Vegas has so much to offer.
When you come to Vegas for the first time, you think it's like the Strip that's it. There's nothing else there, right? When I moved here, I kind of learned it's a regular city, right? Just there's one street that's crazy like that, but other than that, it's just a normal, regular city.
Shibel is working on a master's degree in public administration while playing in his final year of college eligibility. While most players talk of wanting to turn pro and make some money either here at home or overseas, Shibel says that he'll likely just focus on building his future in the U.S. He has a different outlook on what he wants to get out of his final season.
Most of it for me is learning. It's not just basketball, it's life too, you know, like we practice on the court every day, and we don't just learn about basketball. It's, like I said, wake up every morning, show up to practice, kind of deal with pressure situations, deal with things that maybe don't go your way, you know, it's all gonna help you in life.
But Shibel is not taking this journey alone. He married his girlfriend in December during the Runnin' Rebels Christmas break, someone he has dated since Arizona State.
A little ceremony just with her family, and it was amazing, you know, it was great.
They are beginning a new life together, one that has already been pretty incredible. Basketball, an education including a master's degree, a wife, and a future. Vitaliy Shibel is living the American dream.
Dream come true.
What were your thoughts when he said he learned how to speak English, watching Friends and The Office, something we probably do every day, right?
Yeah, it was hilarious when I first heard that in the shows that we all watch, and to think that's how he actually learned English. Vitaly's a neat kid and a very interesting person, so it's a pretty cool story.
How strong was his performance in the San Diego State game?
He was terrific. It's not just knocking down a big shot. He had a tough assignment defensively. He really stepped up, rebounded the ball well, gave our guys great energy. He gave some pace to our offense, allowed us to play 5 out on the perimeter, and just really did a great job, complete game.
He seemed really confident tonight. Did you see a little bit more confidence from him in this game?
We did. His confidence has been growing, and he's been working and having more opportunities. He's been in the starting lineup the last few games, and it's worked well for us. So he should continue to be confident. We're going to continue calling his number. We know he can help us win games. Excited he did that here tonight.
Does his character from Ukraine, his background, does it help bring the teammates together? Does he bring something different to the team?
He does. I think each of our guys' unique personality does, but with Vitaliy, it's his accent, it's some of his funny quirks to his personality. He's always got a big smile on his face, and so he keeps things upbeat and jovial with our group, and really his personality is infectious and helps our team.
When we come back, we will take a look at the Runnin' Rebels Plays of the Week.
You're watching the Fox 5 RebZone Sports Show, sponsored by RC Willey and Levitt Law Firm.
Welcome back into the RebZone. Coach, senior night, Wednesday night, and after this win, is it going to be a big feeling in the Thomas and Mack Center?
Well, we have 3 seniors with Nick, who's been in the program, and then with Eli and Vitaliy, who came in as graduate transfers. It's a night for our fans to come out, show respect for those guys. They've really been working hard. Even though the last 2 have only been here for 1 year, those guys have been very impactful with some key wins. None bigger than here tonight, so hopefully we can have a great crowd at the Thomas and Mack for senior night against Boise.
Thank you so much, Coach. We really appreciate you being on the show every week.
It's great to be here, excited about a big win. Looking forward to this week for our team.
Now we'll take a look at this week's Runnin' Rebels Play of the Week.
The RebZone Sports Show, sponsored by RC Willey and Levitt Law Firm.